Alright, welcome back everybody. Today's video is probably going to be a short one. I just got home from work. I can work for a couple hours before I got to, do the old routine. Go to bed, get up, go to work again. But I was going to start drilling a few of these corner posts for the fencing. However, as usual here lately, we had horrific winds and bad thunderstorms come through last night. A couple different bands come through yesterday afternoon really bad before I left for work, and then again in the middle of the night we just had more flare-ups and severe winds come through. Actually had some confirmed tornadoes just north of us and a few others around that they're still trying to figure out. So crazy year for thunderstorms, crazy. But I've got a mess behind me, so let's go take a look at all that. That's what we're going to try to fix real quick. All right, so we took a beating last night. As you can see, all my fruit trees, everything's blown over. And that's just partly due to the fact that they're in pots and I haven't got them in the ground yet. So that's something I got to work on pretty quickly. So hopefully these are all okay. Pretty much every single one is on the ground. As far as out here in the garden, as I kind of feared, with that much wind, looks like my corn took a heck of a beating. Everything else is short. Didn't catch a whole lot of wind, so okra and everything should be okay. Potatoes obviously are fine. So is the squash and zucchini over there, but my corn, man, it's a mess. I mean, it's a heck of a mess. All blown over, twisted. Yesterday when I left for work, the wind was coming this direction. All the corn was laid over that way. Looks like the thunderstorms that come through in the middle of the night had severe wind this way. Actually, the corn's kind of laid all directions. And some of it looks completely broken, so I don't know if I can save it or not. But just a mess. I hate that. It was looking so good. It just can't handle all the severe winds we've been getting. So the plan today is, I think I'm gonna come out here and hill up all this corn, get everything picked up. I had one viewer recommend that I transplant some of these cantaloupes back here that are starting to come up really well over to this area where I've been struggling to get cucumbers to grow. I think I'm just gonna give up on the cucumbers this year. Can't even find any places with seeds right now. Everybody's just buying everything up with this virus. So I think I'm gonna put a couple cantaloupes here, let them grow on the trellis, see how that works. Put some more beans in since they're not doing well at all. I don't know if it's me or if it's just the seed, but I have tried planting them several different ways. So I'm just gonna load this bed up with bean seeds and we'll just see what comes up. Also, if I got enough time, you can see it's starting to green back up, that tender growth from where I weeded everything. So I want to try to make a quick sweep again. Now everything's soaking wet from the rain, so that's probably not going to help, but that weed burner is pretty powerful. So I'm going to run through here real quick and try to hit as much as I can today before I jump in the bed. So let's get started. All right, got the corn standing back up. I only see a couple pieces that are partially broke that may make it. But until the next storm, we'll see how well this holds up. Like one or two viewers have recommended, instead of thinning these cantaloupes, pulling them out and tossing them to the side, I'm trying to gently dig them up and transplant them. Now, as far as these bush beans go, I've been having a horrible germination rate on them. I've tried planting them differently. I have looked up and researched planting depths, etc. So I've got a decent amount left. I'm just gonna go crazy and put a bunch of them in and thin them later if I actually get a decent amount to come up. But as of right now, I'm struggling with these things. All right, after mushing them down, I've tried all different depths. I'd say these are about 1.5 inches deep, which is what I'm reading online is good for them. We'll do a few more over in this section, and fingers crossed something comes up. This might not be the best idea with everything soaking wet, but let's see. I decided I want to try a little experiment. Hopefully you can see behind me. It should be very clear. Well, at least it is to the naked eye. This area that I just quickly went over. And keep in mind, this is the second time me going over this garden, doing real quick sweeps. I probably have 10 to 12 minutes in this big area here. But if you can look behind me, you can see the burn line right here. That's where I've just stopped. I'm gonna experiment on this little section that's left and see. I've never burnt areas this big, and this is why I want to experiment. I'm gonna really get down on this and burn it to a crisp, and then I'm gonna leave this quick sweep over here. I'm expecting in a day or two this is gonna look like it's just way better, like I've killed it off better. But what about days from now? Is this gonna go ahead and die off? Is this gonna green back up? Is this gonna stay dead? That's what I want to find out, to figure out in the future if I need to really just stay on something a long time, burn it down to nothing, or if a couple quick passes will get me the results I want. I've always used propane weeders for spot weeding and edging. They work fantastic for that. And typically in the past, around little small garden beds, buildings, things like that, usually 2 passes. You know, I'll burn a pass edge. A few days later, a week or so later, what little bit comes back, I'll make a second pass, and typically that gives me excellent weeding results for quite a while. Now eventually weeds and grass comes back, I'll just touch it up again. But I don't know if 2 passes on an area this large is going to be sufficient, or if it's going to have to be more. Also, again, disclaimer, we just got a tremendous amount of rain last night. This is all very wet. I just don't have time to stay up today. I've got to get to work and let the sun dry all this out. I'd probably have even quicker results if I was burning dry grass here. So like I said, I'm gonna get on this real hard and heavy and burn it down to nothing, and we'll look in a few days, a week or so, and kind of compare the results and see what we should do in the future. All right, it should be quite obvious the difference. That's a real quick sweep out there, and this was really staying on it. Now this was painfully slow, I'll admit. So I'm interested to see the results. Like I say, the next couple of days I expect this to look amazing compared to this, but I'm hoping a few days after that, even though it went really quick, that this wilted enough and it'll continue to die off. And even what you see coming back that I quickly swept over, I don't know, about a week or so ago, it's still real yellow. It doesn't look healthy. So I'm hoping a quick second pass is all I need to go ahead and kill off that new growth and stun it for quite a while until I can layer it in some mulch and really kill it off and smother it out. So I'm probably going to knock off here today just due to time constraints. Plus I see some small trees down. So I want to take a real quick ride around the property and see if we had any other wind damage. I don't know if you can see over here, I have pine trees that are broken and snapped and blown all over. This is just from these back-to-back thunderstorms and this crazy amount of wind that we get. So let's go jump in the Ranger and check out the rest of the property. I'll jump back out here another day or so and quickly run through the walking pass, and we'll kind of watch how this does over the next week or so. Our first casualty, a small cherry tree. I hate losing cherries. I like them, but they are quite brittle. Those are usually when the first trees go in the storm. Luckily that one's small. Let's keep looking. Well, I'm pleased to say, riding around, although I didn't check out everything, it looks like I've only lost a few rotten trees and some limbs out of the top of the trees. I didn't see nothing blown down other than that one little cherry, and that's nothing. So I'll do a further look into the woods because we've had so many windstorms. I'm sure I've lost something. But we're starting to get to that point where the ground's getting moist. It was really dry there for a while, but we've been getting a lot of rain. I didn't even check what we got yesterday, but the storm just a few days before that, we got 3 inches. So it's a lot of rain to get at one time. My ponds are starting to fill up. So as the ground gets more and more saturated, I may lose some more trees. But hopefully these little cool fronts, that's what it looks like they are, and severe windstorms will lay down. The only good thing I've noticed about back-to-back windstorms like this is kind of nature's way of pruning. It seems like it'll knock all the little limbs and weak trees down. So whenever we do finally get a hurricane or a tropical storm, it seems like we'll lose a lot less. It's when you go really long periods of no wind, it seems like you lose the most. Things have just gotten too big. They haven't been really pruned back by nature. And that's when I see a lot of damage. So that's my theory anyways. We are going to try, something's going on at work. We may have a whole new schedule change because of this virus. So I'm gonna try to jump on this fence here coming up in a couple of days that I'm supposed to be off, but now I'm not so sure that I'm gonna be off. So we're just gonna kind of have to see how all that goes. I didn't really have enough time today to get the tractor out, get the post hole digger out. I got to go dig out 6x6s. I'm going to need a full day to kind of really get into that project. And I have that coming up in a couple of days. So we will jump on the fence in there and use the tractor some more. After that, you can see the field behind me starting to grow up. Got to mow the yard, got to mow the field. I got to repair my finish mower. I got a wheel bearing that went out there and the wheel basically tore off. Got one of those on the way. So a few little projects coming up. Channel's still growing great. I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the ones that's been around for the few months the channel's been in existence. So thank you for that. I'm going to keep pumping out the content. I'm going to keep growing. Thanks for watching.